Set your destination and run towards it as only Sonic can. Dies there too.
Whoa.
So I'm saying I'm the fastest thing alive. Nothing can kill me except for lava, water, endless pits.
Any amount of damage twice?
Yeah. So yeah, like our ring capacity is at 455. I said like 450 would be good.
Yeah.
But now I kind of feel like it is good. Like you haven't really died via ring lossage yet in a while.
I think I've been a little more careful in combat. Granted, we also have not encountered a new mid-boss type.
Well, I saw him.
Yeah, we all saw him and we all immediately
ignored it and
looked away. But, you know, one day we'll have to confront that.
Cartoon boner sounds. Classic. Everyone can enjoy that. There he is.
Oh, shit.
Bird.
Oh, wow, I fucking nailed him.
Oh, he wasn't even a mid-boss. So yeah,
were you saying he might be called Bird?
Yeah. what you are going to fight is going to be called Bird.
Ah, speaking of Bird.
Raptor at the very least.
Yes, that would be cooler. Speaking of Bird, fish. I forgot to check the fish catalog. Damn it.
Fucker. I was told it was neat.
Well, I will check it when we get to the next one, I guess. Nope. That's
going to be forever.
Okay, am I close? I am close.
You're very close. You can sniff that stage. I'm sure it'll be Green Hill Zone.
Yeah, we've been to how many Green Hill Zones now?
At least 2, if not 3.
I think 3 or 4 at least, yeah. I do feel like the level variety, the aesthetic level variety in the action scenes is pretty limited.
So we'll see. Excited to find out.
Man, really?
It's fine. It's good.
It's fine with a lowercase f. Like
yeah.
It's fine. It's really not a deal breaker, but come on.
People like casino levels.
Not that much, though, obviously.
Well, I guess not. I stand corrected, I suppose. I mean, at least they always have, like, a decentish song.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, they're fun, too. Like, they're good stages. Actually, the more I play the open world, the more I'm enjoying playing these as a break from the open world.
Yeah, I mean, that's their function.
The open world activities... I definitely think at the beginning of the game it was like, oh, this is cool. There's so much new, you know? And now it's like, okay, there's not so much new, and they're all quite basic. So this sort of tried and true boost gameplay, I'm finding a little more, I don't know, thrilling on the whole.
What a thrill.
Yeah, wow.
Tried and true.
Just try again. There we go. I got it. Fucking saved it. Phew.
It's just funny it made you go, like, off, like, the intended target path there.
Yeah.
For a second. You know what I never liked, and I'm sure...
That's cute, that's cute.
Very, very scary. You know what I never liked, and I'm sure this is due to my old man skills or something. I don't like sliding under gates in any 3D Sonic. I always found that cumbersome, and I almost always hit them.
They do come on pretty quick, definitely. Yeah. Like, that... I like it when you do it. It's very satisfying, but it feels really shitty to bump into them. I agree. Like, it's not...
And there's no other...
There's no other option, really.
No, I was going to say there's no other... There's no other element to the levels where I have nearly as much of a problem with them than those.
It's mostly that.
Yeah, it's mostly that.
What about Secret Rings? You like the controls?
You know what? We've mentioned Secret Rings more than enough times, but this is now more than enough times. But when I did play that, I didn't buy it on my Wii, but I did rent it, and I did brute force as much fun as I could out of that, and in my Wii only owning mind at that point, and not have a 360 yet.
Hey, good kid.
Yes. I was like, this is the best Sonic game. The 2006 is a big trash fire. Everyone hates it. I made the right choice here. And I think at the time I did. Now maybe not so much. Now I think one has kind of outpaced the other.
In
retrospect. But I remember enjoying certain levels a lot and other levels being like, this is the worst.
Just
like,
miserable.
I hate this level.
I sort of remember that being the case,
I would like to play it again. I would like them to... I don't know if you can... You could re-release that on the Switch with motion controls for the Joy-Cons.
I mean, you could. And you could re-release that in Dark Knight, you know.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Fortress.
You could re-release that in Dark Knight for sure. But I hesitate to say it would be better to just wait until Nintendo has Wii games, like a Wii game platform.
Yeah.
I've entered a 2D section during the Fortress fight. I don't know what to tell you guys, but this Fortress fight might not be happening right now.
Or it might be happening.
Might be delayed due to rain. But I think maybe, you know, when Nintendo one day gets fucking GameCube and Wii shit going, God. Nowadays that sounds insane to even say. But that'll be when they'll come back out.
If an actual improved Switch comes out with like better hardware and stuff, and you time that to have that shit available, that extends the Switch for like 3 years, right? Just by itself, those two things.
It'd be a big deal having those. But
Wave Race, Blue Storm.
Yeah, that alone, right? I'm concerned it'll never happen.
Yeah.
Because obviously it's a lot more work, like no question, than NES ROMs. You know, for example, like Game Boy will happen first, and I think Game Boy should happen first. But I would hope it could happen eventually. But I feel like GameCube and Wii, it's also the point where like these games get modern enough that you could be selling them. You could be gussying them up a little bit, and
like, I don't know, Mario Sunshine.
Yeah. Meanwhile, like I don't feel like a lot of people are going to be out there buying Mappy on the NES, like it's a great game. We all like Mappy, we all like City Connection, we all like Elevator Action, but I don't think people are,
chapping at the bit.
Yes. And when it comes to GameCube and Wii stuff, I think there's perpetually going to be a sort of question of like, well, why don't we just sell these games? Already we're seeing companies like Square Enix and Capcom, and Konami not put their full back catalogs on the Nintendo apps. There's a good chance we're never going to see Chrono Trigger and the Final Fantasies. There's a good chance we're not going to see, we're never going to see Mega Man X because they sell a Mega Man X collection on the shop.
Yeah.
We're never going to see Castlevania because they sell 2 Castlevania collections on the shop. Why can't I homing attack him? Nope, that also didn't work. You know what? I've got a homing kick just for this. Nope.
Do you?
I've locked on with R3. I'm fully engaging mechanically.
Maybe it's because he's flying. I don't.
So the last time I killed one of these enemies, I stomped it.
Yeah, you were above him though.
I'd fuck this enemy. It's not happening.
Give up.
Anyway, already we're seeing, a lot of companies not fully participating in the Switch online stuff.
Yeah, but it's like the Xbox or the PlayStations have PS2. So the age of a GameCube generation, they have those games available. PS2 and Xbox games.
I mean, yes and no, right?
Not all of them.
On Xbox,
small amount.
Xbox, I don't want to downplay how cool their system is, but it's a very small amount of the catalog, right? And not that Nintendo would necessarily get more of the catalog, but that ended the event. I guess I did something wrong there. PlayStation, they've like abandoned it. The PS2 thing, they haven't. The last one that came out on the PS2 thing was Ace Combat 5 in 2019, which was a pre-order bonus for Ace Combat 7. That also ended that
because there were 2 of them.
2 of what?
There were 2 lines of
PS2.
I'm sorry. There were 2 lines of rings to go through that.
Oh, yes,
rings
yeah.
To go.
So I'm not exactly.
I don't know how you were supposed to do both.
No, but I will head back up shortly. Nice. But anyway, Sony's like abandoned their PS2 thing. They've got a new PS1 and PSP program ongoing now that has been troubled, to say the least. But you know, I think for a lot of companies, it's going to be like, why would we release our games on this?
Oh,
yeah,
wait,
I need
what?
something to launch me up in the air. What am I missing?
You have 83 seconds to find it.
It's true. I have a lot of time.
Why?
I got a key.
Okay, well, it's something.
There's a gear down there.
That's not the what you should be focusing on for this micro task. Don't go through any of them yet. I think because if you go through one, that's what fails this.
Oh, that's what this is.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
It was odd though
that
that going through one and landing like ended it. You know, like that felt kind of wrong to me. You know.
Oh.
Yeah, we've only seen
now
those things before. I still have quite a lot of time, so I think I'll
Yeah.
be okay. But anyway, so I'm I'm not sure we'll ever get to a GameCube and Wii sort of Nintendo Switch Online style thing because I'm not, it would take a lot more work per game for testing because the games
Wii.
grow dramatically in size. Yeah, especially Wii. And
But how are you supposed to get your Odama? You know?
I mean, guess what? Download Dolphin, download Odama. We're looping around again. Nintendo cannot be trusted with this,
Cannot be trusted with Odama.
No. If they have their way, and they will, Odama will never return. That's the grim truth of Odama.
And most people would be like, oh, it's that thing I never wanted.
Yeah, most people will be okay with that,
Yeah.
and most people are wrong.
Because in the GameCube days, you were trying to, at least I was trying to yeah, no, it's cool. I don't want a PS2 and all of its incredible games. I love my GameCube. And then, reality eventually wears you down. And, I think I might have mentioned this before. It was Metal Gear Solid 3 where I'm like, okay, fuck this. I hate this console. I need to get a PS2, right? But
funny.
for a while, whenever Nintendo would be like, here's a new Nintendo published game, and it's not like Odama, I'm like, fuck this. Don't give me
Sorry,
this.
because you want Odama, or are you saying the opposite? You don't want
I don't want Odama,
Okay.
but they're announcing, it's the exact same thing as the IGN guys reacting
Sure.
in the picture, right?
Yeah.
It's just them just go, oh. And so when it was like, what are they reacting to? Pac-Man Versus, right? In that
Yeah.
picture, actually? That's what it is. Every time they would announce something that wasn't because I'm 16, 17 at the time, guess what types of games I wanted?
Of course, the ones that they had on the PS2.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I struggled with any time that there was something that was yeah, no, guys, this is really cool. And it is cool for the first 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh wait, this isn't this needs more time in the oven, whatever you want to say. So around then, and I don't know what it is around the Wii, but I was like, no, all the Wii's awesome and forever. I didn't have that identity crisis.
The gimmick did a lot for it.
It did.
That was genuinely exciting, and there was a lot of novel stuff coming out.
And there was a lot of weird third-party content that wasn't really on the GameCube. It was ports.
Yeah, but it wasn't getting
that
other
exclusive.
stuff. Yeah.
Except for fucking Lost Kingdom.
Kingdoms, yeah.
Or Baden Kaitos, The
GameCube's got some shit, though.
It's got some.
Mega Man Network Transmission. That game is fucking good. Metal Arms, Glitch in the System. iNinja.
All of them have that.
Yeah, I know. Beautiful Joe. Piano 3 is interesting because I really like Piano 3 and I think it's a great game. But I also think that if you put Piano 3 in 99% of people's hands, they'll be like,
no.
What is this?
Yeah.
I don't like this.
Yeah,
This doesn't control right.
Nothing about this is correct.
The people who will like Piano 3 the best are the people who play Resident
Shinji
Evil 4 the
Mikami.
most. Yeah, pretty much. So similar to now, I was younger than you back then.
Whoa! Did you see that?
I did, yeah.
Intense.
And yeah, I was big into Nintendo
Don't get locked
Power.
into the 2D section.
I know, I really don't want to. I was big into Nintendo Power back then, so I was full indoctrinated, right? But I was pretty young, I guess I must have been, 11 or 12 or something. GameCube came out in what, 2002?
2001.
2001.
November 2001.
So yeah, I think I got it right after Melee came out, though I didn't. Oh, he dropped a rail. So I would have been like, 10 years old or whatever. And I remember quite liking it a lot, but people's perspectives of time are different when they're a kid, right? Like, as a kid, I just remember having all these awesome games to play. Pikmin.
Force.
I wish. Pikmin, Luigi's Mansion, Star Wars, Rogue Leader, Rogue Squadron 2, Wave Race, Blue Storm, Animal Crossing, Super Mario Sunshine.
Yeah, that's like the first
Melee.
year. Eternal Darkness.
I didn't play Eternal Darkness because I was really young.
Too young.
I probably would have really wanted to, but
Summon the devil. Looked like you.
I shouldn't have jumped. I should have just hit square.
Yeah. You were testing the game design.
And I remember Nintendo Power, like, I was introduced to so many, cool looking games like Beautiful Joe and Piano 3 and Lost Kingdoms and shit. And so I never personally felt like there was a big absence, but I think a big part of that was like I didn't know what there was on the PS2 and Xbox so much. I didn't partake. And I was also really young.
I was on IGN all the time, so
yeah,
I see.
Exactly. That's very different. I mean, definitely, like, as we were approaching the next generation, like, I was on game trailers all the time, and I sort of got it. But yeah, at the time, I didn't really know what I was missing too much, and I had, admittedly, like, my best friend at the time, he had a PS2 and an Xbox, so I did go over to his place and play MGS3 and Drakengard and
good.
There we go.
Excellent.
Good. I did play like MGS3 and Drakengard and Prince of Persia and shit like that. So I had a bit of perspective from that, but like
yeah, because I had a friend that didn't have a PS2, but he had an Xbox, so I at least got to see.
So that's some
multi-platform stuff at least.
Yeah. But definitely, at that time, I didn't have the feeling of, like, I need to get another machine. Because at that time, it was like...
So remember, I'm going from, like, basically almost 3 years-ish. Because it was 2004 is Metal Gear Solid 3. So I had, like, 3 solid years with only my GameCube. And really, by like 2004, it's like releases were just like third party, like some third parties skipped out on the GameCube, like didn't bother or whatever.
Yeah.
But the first 2 years at least, like you got almost everything.
Yeah, the first 2 years are fine. I mean, you can play Tarzan.
Tarzan Untamed.
Fuck.
Why?
I know.
The movie was like 4 years old.
I know. I don't fucking know. Okay,
it's still so weird.
It is still so weird.
There was an N64 Tarzan game.
Yeah, they just couldn't stop with Tarzan.
Yeah, I think maybe they're gonna like lose the license or something to like make one more thing.
Gotta keep maybe I don't know. I'm not the biggest Tarzan head in the room, I think. So, okay, I want to go. Thanks. I want to go over to that island.
Tars fans. Did you ever watch the Canadian Tarzan?
No. Oh my god! Is this a live action movie? What are we talking about here?
No. So when I say Canadian Tarzan, I think like a portion of it or something was like funded by Canadian whatever. But it was this Tarzan show that was simply just called Tarzan. I think it was maybe Tarzan the Legendary. I don't know. But it played always on CTV, right?
Sure.
And it would just be like, oh, and then the intro would be like 3 minutes long of dramatic music, and it was a live action TV show, just this blonde, generic looking guy playing Tarzan.
Not the movie.
No, this was a serialized action show.
Jeez, no, never then.
Yeah,
the movie I know and I've seen, of course.
Yeah. But this was like late 90s or something. So, yeah, you might have been a bit too young to watch this at the time. But it was always like, oh, there's a poacher, or, oh, they're stealing...
Of course.
All the jewels from the cave, or blah, blah, blah. And the guy that played Tarzan was a man by the name of Wolf Larson.
Okay, cool name.
And I'm like, okay, you're a fighting game character all of a sudden. I think he was in other stuff, too, but that was where I knew Tarzan from. So when Disney's Tarzan came out, I was like, what is this?
And then it was so
this
good.
New spin.
Yeah. Not
knowing that the character dates back to like the 20s or some shit. Tarzan fought the Predator once. I don't think it worked. I don't think it
was that
worked
in
too
comics.
well.
I assume.
Comics,
Yeah,
yes.
gotta be.
That actually seems like the optimal guy to fight him.
Arguably. The only person with better mobility in a forest. I seen him jungle slide. He's got Vaseline on those branches.
And we're like making notes of Tarzan. We're just like, we looked at skateboarders and how they move. Green Hill Zone.
No, it's
like
Sky Sanctuary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the color palette's nice.
But I think, going back to that other topic, I think that I didn't get that feeling until the PS3 came out. Where
I did not get that feeling with the PS3.
Well, okay, for me it was Virtua Fighter 5.
Oh, you might have mentioned this before.
Yeah.
I feel like you might have said this.
So I was going to get a Wii no matter what, because Zelda and Wii Sports. Like, I mean, the Wii was amazing back then.
Dragon Blade.
You had to be there, Dragon Blade. But, like, if you were there, you were there. And you know what we mean. Because looking back on the Wii, you might be like, why was everyone frothing over this? But, you know.
Our frothing demand.
Yeah, it increases. But
what was that? What game was that for?
Ikaruga. It's printed on the front of the box. It's IGN, I think. Our frothing demand for this game increases.
This old arcade game that you can
play. So funny. Yeah. But seeing Virtua Fighter 5, that was the one game that blew me away. That was graphics could not get better than this.
And they didn't.
And they didn't. And Virtua Fighter 5 is still the apex that we thrive for. I never actually ended up getting Virtua Fighter 5.
That's crazy.
But I did get the PS3. I got the PS3 and I had no money, so I couldn't afford to buy Virtua Fighter 5. And so I mostly got by on rentals and shit. And I didn't rent Virtua Fighter 5 because I thought, well, one day I'm going to buy it. And I just never did. So I never owned it until the new version came out on
the
PS4.
Ultimate Showdown.
The Ultimate Showdown.
Yeah, that's fucked. I feel so bad for Virtua Fighter 5.
But I played a shitload of the demo, and I think I did rent it one day later, like years after the fact.
Come on.
That game's awesome, though. I remember playing it at Walmart before I had my PS3, and I was blown away by that game.
Apparently not that blown away.
No, I was blown away. I wanted it,
But then you just bought Resistance.
I didn't buy anything.
Well,
I bought the console. I didn't have enough money to buy a single game.
Eventually you did. What was the first one you bought? Shut up.
Whoa, that's a good question. What was the first PS3 game I bought? It wasn't Resistance.
Tokyo Jungle.
It wasn't Tokyo. No, I got mine at January 2007.
Okay.
So right after. No, that's not right. September 2007, because Skyrim Oblivion had just come out, I think.
Okay, so
what was the first game I bought?
You tell me.
Shit. I don't know. No, I don't know, but I'm really thrilled to find out at this point.
How would you even find that out?
I would go through a list from start to finish.
And just try to reach back into your memory cores.
I remember buying Soul Calibur 4 when that came out.
That was 2008.
Yeah, so that would have been a little later. Holy shit. What was it? And of course it was a fat PS3, so I got to play a lot of PS2 games on it too, which was really nice. Yeah, and that was right when you could get just about any PS2 game dirt fucking cheap at Super Club Vidéotron. Yeah. You know, so I did play a lot of PS2 games on that. And of course Konami re-released MGS 1, 2, 3 before MGS 4 in that 3-pack, if you remember that.
Yeah, vaguely. Yeah. So, I don't count Super Mario Brother Duck Hunt combo cartridge because it comes with the system, right?
Sure, you didn't buy that cartridge. Yeah.
I wouldn't have.
Yeah.
But the first game I ever got, the second game I ever got for my NES was a Christmas gift from a neighbor of ours who bought me Friday the 13th on the NES.
Whoa, that's rad.
That's rad. But it was too scary.
Matt out here playing Atlas games before any of you Persona 5 posers.
Yeah, I just blew in. So that was the first additional game. But the first game I ever bought, you might know this, but it was Predator on the NES. And
I didn't know that.
Like,
no.
I was just in the Toys R Us for ages. My mom going, like, hurry up, please. I'm like, I don't know. I don't know what, like, this is your money. It was my...
Sure, yeah.
The first game I spent my own money on. I had to spend, like, $80 for a cart back then.
Damn.
And, yeah, like Canadian, obviously.
Yeah.
So yeah, I bought Predator on the NES, and that kind of made me the man I am.
It's a rough one to buy for that much money too. Yeah.
For the GameCube, I'm pretty sure I must have bought Mario. I definitely bought Mario Sunshine. That's the first one that I think of in my head, because I rented a lot back then. Because I spent all my money on the GameCube.
Yeah.
I didn't have any money for games.
That's just it. That's why I'm having a hard time remembering what the first game for PS3 was, because I rented so much back then too. First game I ever bought with my own money was Conker's Pocket Tales.
Jesus.
Yeah, and that was a good game. Like I liked it. I'm
not even saying that's bad. It's just like that's so.
It's an odd one. It's odd, for sure.
And it's weird because that's the Conker where it's like he's all nice and shit.
Yeah, so I didn't know any other Conker.
That's fucked.
I was really surprised when I found out that was not Conker.
That's what happened, eh? Conker is absolutely one of those things.
I'm sure. Because you're right, it is.
Because when people looked at the original N64 version, like, I think there was, like, blowback from the press. They're just like, ugh.
Well, it was just plain, right?
Another plain... Like, at that point, it was game played out with, like, rares, collectathons and stuff. And actual Conker is not a collectathon. It's like all this context,
not at all,
sensitive shit, and you're just fighting bosses and just progressing the story. And
it's a cool action game. I mean, Conker's Pocket Tales is actually surprisingly like that, and how it's just a cool action game and not a collectathon. Like, there's levels you go to. There's these cool little like first-person gallery shooting segments. Like, Pocket Tales is cool. I remember thinking that game was rad and really, like, creative. But I remember why it was, because I was at a Costco, and their game selection was really limited.
They had a game section back in the day.
Yeah, so they still do, actually.
Really? The electronics section, they got nothing.
I mean, nothing exciting, but, just new releases and shit. But, yeah, they had, N64 and PS1 stuff, which I didn't have, so... couldn't partake, and the Game Boy selection was really limited. It was like,
Pocket Tales,
Zelda, Game & Watch Gallery, Super Mario Bros. Deluxe. Oh no, that was before that. But anyway, the Pocket Tales was the one that stuck out. I was like, well, this looks the most interesting. So, yeah, I don't know. It was a lucky pick too, because it was a good game. And I know a lot of people have stories like you about the first game they buy with their own money is a bit of a
sticking point, because it makes an impression like, I wasted or I nailed it. I think there's very few tales of people nailing it
on the first go.
Yeah, on the first go.
No,
you have to
I agree.
know. You need stuff that sucks to know stuff that's cool.
So my mom did a real good job back then, and I'm not totally sure how. Like, maybe on the early internet she looked stuff up. I don't know, but the first game. So I had like an Atari that my grandpa owned, and an NES that my cousins owned that was across the street from where I grew up. Mm-hmm. So I went over all the time. And my dad knew I liked games. He borrowed a Genesis from one of his friends. It never got returned. I still have it. That's my Genesis now. Sorry, Mark McMahon. Anyway, but the first like new console I ever got was a Game Boy Color, and my mom bought me that and Game & Watch. It was the Atomic Purple, of course.
That's
the one, right? She bought me that and Game & Watch Gallery 2, which is a game that obviously made a very
deep impression
on me, given I spent like a year of my life making a Game & Watch game. So, and then like the first game she got me after that for Christmas or whatever, I think it was for Christmas, was Link's Awakening Deluxe, which made an even deeper impression upon me, possibly.
Right.
Like, still probably my favorite Zelda game. No, I got pretty lucky, and, like, my stepmom had heard about, like, Pokemon, right? and she got me a copy of Pokemon Yellow.
I was Sonic Cough
so
there.
I was pretty lucky with the games I got to start with, I guess.
Not me.
Yeah. Well, only counting the Game Boy stuff. The Atari and the NES stuff is much more mixed in quality.
Right.
The Genesis stuff, it was Sonic 2, Streets of Rage, and a bunch of sports games.
So garbage.
So garbage. Those sports games were good, but they weren't for me, you know.
Oh, God.
Oh, I was wondering what was happening.
Not quite to that level, but, you know.
It's longer than it needs to be, I think.
I think 30 seconds is good.
Yeah. Has it been 30 seconds yet?
It has been 8.
Damn it.
I see what Johnny was talking about. He's like, why is this there?
Yeah, on the GameCube, I remember the GameCube, my mom bought it for me and my sisters as a gift, and it was we got Star Wars and Pikmin and Disney's Magical Mirror starring Mickey Mouse by Capcom.
Right.
Which is good. That is a good point and click adventure game for babies anyway. Like it's it's no like Loom or Indiana Jones.
Dig.
Yeah, exactly. But as a kid, that was a fun game, and it's like really well made. Yeah.
Shocking.
We got those, which was cool. So it was a nice little selection of games to play. I remember renting Luigi's Mansion really early on. Oh yeah, I have to hold square on these. Weird. I don't remember what the first game I bought on the GameCube myself was. Fuck, I'd have to be super interested to look these things up. Because the Wii onwards, it's easy to remember.
Yeah, because if I look at like my discs that I have, like I don't know, because I mixed it so much up with games I got at conventions.
Yeah.
Like GameCube games, if I even try to nail it down to that, I'm like, no, I did not buy the Trigger Man for myself.
And I sold a lot of games back then, too.
Yeah, me too. I was selling things all the time to just make
You gotta.
rent.
Yeah. No, I can't remember. But from the Wii onwards, or no, from the DS onwards, it's a lot easier to remember.
Yeah.
From the DS.
I don't know why I have such vivid memories of buying Tokyo Beatdown on my DS.
Damn. I mean, I could see that being a game you would be really excited for, if I'm being honest. Like that absolutely checks out, so, you know.
It's not very good, but it's funny localization, I guess.
I remember the first game I bought on the Wii was Rayman Raving Rabbids, and actually...
Why?
Well...
into it?
One, I thought it looked like a good game.
Okay.
And two, it was a pretty fun game.
I played that at a friend's house the first time. Like, there's this girl I knew in college, and she would invite everyone over, like, I don't know, once every couple of months. She like big gaming parties, and she got really into Kingdom Hearts, and then I never saw her again.
You should have got really into Kingdom Hearts right then and there.
Right, but she invited everyone over when the Wii launched, and I didn't get the Wii until like maybe 2 months later because it was all sold out.
Yeah.
So she invited everyone over to the Wii, and she had Rayman. I played that for like 3 seconds, and I was like, yeah, no thanks.
That's fair.
Fine. Because I wanted a regular Rayman game at that point.
If I were the age you was back then, if I was the age you were back then,
I like the original version better.
I think I would have also not liked Raving Rabbids because I wasn't there for the second or the third or whatever. You know? I like the new Rabbids games. Like I do like the Rabbids, but not that.
Remember the one no one remembers? Which one do I mean?
The time traveling one. No. Do you mean the time traveling one? Do you mean the TV one?
No, I don't know which ones you mean.
The one where they use a washing machine to travel in time. The third game.
So this is the one where you're in a cart, like a trash, I think that's a shopping cart.
I think that's
and
the
you have to
one.
it's basically like a platformer or like a weird platformer.
Yeah, there's minigame collection / platformer. Rabbids
Go Home.
Go Home? Yeah.
I think so. What are you gonna do the best I can? You should say that.
Oh, it's this guy again, and he's conveniently on the ground.
Finally.
A perfect set piece. Yeah, the Wii, I remember... I also wasn't able to get one at launch. Oh, I had to boost there. The perspective fucked me up a little bit.
Yeah, it was a little fucky.
I also didn't get one at launch. I remember I was going to go to launch, and I had been saving up my pennies, and I had the money to buy a Wii and like one game. There was no pre-orders, so everyone was thrown to the wolves, and there were, if you weren't there at the time, there was jack all stock for PS3 and for Wii. So if you weren't there minute one for either of them, you weren't getting one for a little bit, especially the Wii. PS3 you could get sooner, but
Yeah.
Anyway, I had, asked my stepdad if he could drive me to Super Club Videotron, that morning. And I'd asked him if we could go at like 5 or something, it bearing in mind it opened at like 9 or 10 or something like that.
Gotta get in line.
Yeah, exactly, right? And he wasn't sure about that. He was like, look,
no, there it is.
We can go at 6 or whatever,
No!
And we got there, and unfortunately, they were like, we didn't get any Wiis at all. We have one PS3, but we didn't get any Wiis. And holy shit, if you fall behind, you just die in this stage, I guess. Hey, they didn't have any Wiis, so immediately I think my stepdad realized, like, oh, okay, hang on. This is more limited than he thought we would just go to a store and pick it up, and me wanting to go hours early was not, You
didn't need to.
Yeah, exactly. So we immediately drove to the next town over, St. Agath, and they have a Videotron there, and they did get Wiis, and they had Wiis. All we knew was they had Wiis. We didn't know how many they had, but there were already people in line ahead when we got there. I was 6th in line, I remember very distinctly, and it turned out as we came into the store they had 5 Wiis, and I was so disappointed by that. I was really sad. I mean, I was 15 or 16 or whatever at the time, and I was so excited for it, and I had, saved all this money and shit.
You're like, I was 25.
No. But it was a real bummer, and like, in a sort of sad, kind of disappointed way, I just kind of bought Raving Rabbids.
Okay.
But I didn't feel...
I
wasn't happy about it. It was just like,
oh,
this is harsh to a degree that I'm not sure about.
Yeah, I agree with your summary of that.
Yeah. So yeah, I wasn't able to get one right away, and like, my mom, bless her, went on eBay and like looked, and she found one that was actually like really, really close to retail price.
Okay.
And she was like, "Look, I'll pay the difference." And I think she paid like $70 more or something, which was really nice of her, and I really appreciate it. So I got one in early December, so only a few weeks later, basically.
Yeah, it's kind of similar to me, where it's like I went to a place. I was with my girlfriend at the time, and we went to like the parking lot of like, I think it was a Walmart or something, and it was like, something like close to midnight or whatever, and we were just like, oh yeah, maybe we can just get one. Probably showed up there pretty early, like maybe 2 hours, like maybe 10 p.m. or something like that, and just waited there for a while. There was like no communication from anybody that was inside the Walmart, like what's happening, how many do you have. It was just a line of people, right?
That's super familiar.
Yeah,
like,
just
total radio silence.
No one had any information,
and it was cold.
Because it was like it was
November 19th, 2006. Like,
so. Just there for a while, and then like midnight happens, and then like 12:15, then like, well, okay, what's happening? And then just someone came out from the Walmart, told someone something, and then everyone dispersed. So I just dispersed.
Oh,
so I don't know what the fuck was supposed to happen. Are you boosting?
I'm boosting.
Gonna boost? Okay.
Okay, phew, that's over. I'm glad.
So then it was like weeks later, and then there was like a micro play or something in the West Islands. So I just went there. It was something similar to you. Like, we have 7, and I was like 5th in line. So I got.
So you were able to. That's cool. Yeah.
You nailed that. That time.
Yeah, thankfully.
Wow, that was it, huh?
That was it, huh?
Fine tails.
Sonic's like fucking dead. I guess I gotta go talk to my waterboarded friend now.